Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Females arrested after reported hold-up and robbery in Portland. Two women accused of robbing and assaulting another woman in Buff Bay, Portland on Monday, September 27, have been charged by detectives in Portland. Charged with robbery with aggravation and assault occasioning bodily harm are 34-year-old Tanisha Walker of Clovis Lane, Buff Bay in Portland, and 19-year-old Crystal Gale, also of Clovis Lane in Buff Bay, Portland. Reports are that about 9:35 a.m., Walker and Gale attacked a woman who was walking home. They allegedly hit her several times and robbed her of $50,000. Following investigative leads, both women were picked up at their home in an operation and were subsequently charged following an interview. Their court date is being finalized. Police nab man on the run after allegedly wounding party patrons. The police have arrested and charged a man who they say have been on the run for several months after he allegedly injured another man at an illegal party at Common District in Manchester on Friday, May 21. 31-year-old Siobhan Mullins of Comfort District has been charged with wounding with intent. The police said that about 10:30 p.m. on the night in question, Mullins was a patron at an illegal party when an altercation developed between him and another man. Mullins allegedly hit the man in the face, left and later returned to the location with a firearm, which he reportedly pulled at the man and fired several shots in his direction. On Wednesday, September 22nd, Mullins was arrested by the police during an operation in Mandeville. 28-year-old allegedly shoots at cops arrested. 28-year-old Roman Stoddart has been arrested after he reportedly fired gunshots at a police team as they patrolled in Porous, Manchester on Friday, September 24. Stoddart has been charged with 2 counts of shooting with intent. The police said that about 1 a.m., Stoddart was seen with a group of men on the Porous Main Road. Upon seeing the police, Stoddart and the other men allegedly opened fire at the police and then fled. Stoddart was later arrested and subsequently charged after a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. Samoda applauds measures against illegal contraband in correctional facilities. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samoda, says the measures implemented by the Department of Correctional Services DCS to crack down on illegal contraband entering its facility are yielding positive results. Speaking in the Senate recently during the State of the Nation debate, Samoda said that 2,300 cell phones were seized in correctional facilities over the last 12 months. According to the minister, among the steps being implemented are amendment to legislative framework to criminalize possession, use and smuggling of electronic devices, particularly cell phones, into correctional facilities. If we do not get the phones out, we cannot curtail and stop the running of gangs behind our facilities, he said. In June this year, Cabinet approved the drafting instructions for legislative amendments to various sections of the Corrections Act 1985 and the Correctional Institutional Adult Correctional Center Rule 1991. These will address the specific issue of prohibiting items in Jamaican's correctional institutions that allow for unauthorized communication outside the facility. Samoda said there will be adjustment of training manuals and retraining of correctional officers and infrastructural changes at point of entry. He pointed that appropriate technology is also being procured to monitor entranceways, search and scan for devices, and disrupt electronic communications. Samoda stated that the DCS strives to play its part in protecting the public from dangerous actors, deterring crime, and administering justice for those who have been wronged by criminal elements, thereby helping Jamaica grow more secure, peaceful, and just. Justice Ministry seeks Cabinet approval to pay mediators from legal aid funds. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck says the ministry will seek approval from Cabinet to use legal aid to pay mediators in the parish courts. Mediation is a very important alternative dispute resolution method used in the Supreme Court, but not used as much in the parish courts because persons can't afford it, he noted. He was addressing the ministry's virtual quarterly press briefing on Tuesday. Mediation is a procedure in which the parties involved in a conflict discuss their dispute with the assistance of a trained impartial third party who assist them in reaching a settlement. The dispute may either be pending in a court or potentially may be filed in court. Cases suitable for mediation or disputes involve commercial transactions, personal injury, construction, workers' compensation, labor or community relations, divorce, domestic relations, employment, or any other matter that do not involve complex procedural or evidentiary evidence. Chuck said that alternative dispute resolution methods, such as mediation and restorative justice, have the potential to increase the efficiency of the nation's courts and significantly reduce the backlog of cases. He said that between January and August 2021, the courts referred 1,511 cases to restorative justice centers, of which 1,295 were settled. Chuck said that using mediation and restorative justice are also effective ways of ensuring that parties involved in conflicts are healed. We currently have 18 restorative justice centers, and shortly we'll be opening 3 additional ones in Pembroke Hall and Greenwich Farm in Kingston and Butners Hill in Clarendon. We hope all 3 will be placed there before the end of the year, he said, noting that the facilities will help to restore peace in the communities. Meanwhile, Delroy said that significant headway has been made by the Chief Justice in his consultations and strategies to improve the clearance rate in the parish courts. We are close to 90% of the cases in the parish courts being dealt with within 5 months. Comrade Till I Die, Karen Cross insists she is still a PNP member despite expulsion. Political activist Karen Cross is insisting that she is still a member of the People's National Party PNP, claiming that due process wasn't followed in expelling her from the party with immediate effect on Monday. I am a member of the People's National Party and I will remain so until I die. That fool thing, the expulsion from the party, is not how this thing works, and they can print them little one-liner and anything them want, but that doesn't change the fact that I am a member of the People's National Party and they can't expel me, Cross declared on Tuesday. The decision to expel Cross was taken on Monday night at a meeting of the PNP's Executive Committee, according to a statement from the party. The Executive Committee of the People's National Party, having received and considered the report of the Disciplinary Committee, and in accordance with Section 260 of the party's constitution, expel Karen Cross from the party with immediate effect, the statement said. This action was taken at its meeting held on September 27, 2021, it added. However, Cross claimed that she was never formally told that she was no longer a member and was only made aware of her expulsion through messages sent by her friends. I got a group call from my crew last night, and they were the ones who told me that they saw me being broadcast in the media, she said. According to Cross, it would be against protocol for her to be informed of this time since the horse gone through the gate already. To formally inform me now, after you have already informed the nation, is counterproductive and working backward. I am not accepting that. I am a member of the PNP and will always be a member of the PNP. The party's acting chairman, Horace Doyle, indicated in a media interview that the disciplinary committee had recommended that Cross be suspended from the party. However, that decision was overturned by the party's executive committee, which opted to boot Cross from the PNP. Cross on Tuesday reiterated that the executive committee could not expel her and there was nothing to appeal. There is a process in the PNP, and that which they did is not the process, she insisted. Asked to explain the process, the former PNP activist admitted that she was not very good with what the party's constitution is. But the PNP constitution is not quite clear based on what I have been shown from this morning about the whole suspension and expulsion thing, she asserted. According to the PNP Executive Committee, can only accept a recommendation from the Disciplinary Committee, and I understand the Disciplinary Committee recommended suspension. Cross had been brought before the party's Disciplinary Committee earlier this year after she made several accusations against the PNP leader hierarchy, including its president Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell, the party's general secretary. And they, the PNP Executive Committee, got up into their feelings because them embarrassed about last Thursday, she alleged. Last Thursday, Cross was among a small group of protesters who converged at the party's Old Hope Road, St. Andrew headquarters where they demanded new leadership of the 83-year-old political organization. Cross has also declared that she will continue with her plans to push back against officials in the Golden-led PNP. She indicated that on Saturday she will be turning up at the party's Regional 3 National Executive Council NEC elections to be militant against persons who cannot prove that they are true PNP members, and even signal her intentions to exercise her voting right as a member despite being expelled. I sent out 3 voice notes Monday morning encouraging Region 3 comrades to stand up against the alleged fraudulent group in the party. Those are the fraudulent groups that have been around the country electing NEC members, alleged Cross. Those fraudulent groups, they are some in Region 3, and we are going to be militant about establishing that these people are actually PNP people, and if we are going to allow them to vote, they have to prove that they are actually PNP long time. I am going to stand up for that, she charged. I am a member of the PNP. I am still a member. I will be at Edith Dalton James High School on Saturday to register my vote for NEC members. For now, that's all I have to say about that, she added. The controversial activist did note, however, that the election of delegates to the party's NEC has been taking place across various regions. It's when the delegates get together from each region and elect the NEC representatives from their region to the NEC. So it's an annual constitutional requirement of the PNP, she explained. When I go to vote, I am going to stand firm and ensure that the people who come to vote are PNP people, and nobody can stop me from doing that. I mean nobody, she quipped when asked to elaborate further on her plans for Saturday. In the meantime, Cross is holding firm to her belief that the announcement of her expulsion was to counter the embarrassment PNP officials faced by her protests against them last week. Them just all up in them feelings about last Thursday, how they would have handled it better. Their first attempt at handling these things are always the bad ones, and them realize their mistake and want to back up, like, for example, locking the PNP headquarters gate, which was a collision mistake, she said. She further argued all they have to do, if they truly wanted unity, is to then think clearly and say to them, all right, if these people show up, we're going to ensure that the people can come in and talk to people. Instead, the former veteran PNP member claimed that the leadership of the opposition party took a different route by allegedly embarrassing vengeance and revenge. They always go for those approaches first, the ones where they want to take vengeance and revenge and demean people. It's a cancer in the PNP, a cancer which was taken over some aspect of the PNP, a cancer which has now pitched us against them, she observed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.